Shalom Israel, giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders, great millstone, my salutation to the brothers teaching the word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, to the extended hopeful elect. Let's return to the Most High, multitude, shalom, blessings. Just want to, I forgot a lot of the dream, but just want to mention it before I forget the rest of it. It's a real heavy dream. There's a lot of stuff going on, man. But the only thing I can remember is, everybody being in this big facility, and it's almost like a superdome. And I don't know if something had just happened, but it seemed like, that they would, we were there until they release us, but it was, so to speak, so-called for protection or something like that. But when I woke up looking at it, waking up, it looked like a big ass concentration camp. But it wasn't, we weren't there for torture. When I mean we, I mean just, people in general. But it was weird because I think Eddie Murphy was in there, and it could have been Arsenio Hall with him. And then I think I asked Eddie Murphy because we had to go to this window to get our food or get supplies for, just common basic, just for living in the facility, I guess. It's like when you're in prison, you go get your tray, you get your food, they serve you your food or whatever. But it was just like this window that you go to and you get your, he threw us these little metal key-like objects. It wasn't shaped like keys, but it was a little small metal. If you watch the new Black Mirror, they got it in one of those episodes. It was just, and the dude, when we went up to the window, the dude threw it at us like, here, and it could have been somebody else, but I think so far I'm thinking of Eddie Murphy or something. It was maybe a comedian or something, but I asked him, I was like, dang, you see that? It seemed kind of that dude, he seemed kind of rude when he did that, And then he's like, nah, that's how they do. That's just how it goes. Ain't nobody. And then I asked another dude at this time, we kind of like sitting at a table or something like that. And another dude that was with him, I don't know if that was Arsenio Hall or his friend or a group friend, but then I asked him like, man, did you see what was going on? Did you see the attitude of that dude? And he was like, I told him, well, I asked him, it was two more dudes that I told him, I asked him, I said, if he say, one say yes and one say no, and then he pointed at somebody agreed and somebody didn't. I said, which one said yeah? And which one? And then they said which one? And then he started. I think whoever the dude was, I don't know if he was a comedian. He started laughing. Like, come on, man, that ain't what it is. And then there's some more stuff that happened. I don't remember, but I remember, I turned and looked, and they was saying something like, "Oh, something's happening, something's, approaching." And I looked out this big glass window, and there was a big ass mechanical eagle-looking aircraft. And this is I tried to look for a picture, and this is the only picture I could find. But it wasn't no logo type of eagle like this one, but it was more of a like a mechanical helicopter spacecraft, and it was coming at us shooting lasers. And let me see, and I try to look for another one. It was a spare aircraft like this, but it looked like that bird I just showed, mixed with the two. But it was more of a, yeah, eagle like. It's just hard to explain. But and they just, but we thought it was just coming in because it was, I don't I guess we was obviously in the air, and it was, we thought it might be coming at us to land or something like that, but it it was and other ones that was beside it, a couple more crashed, and it blew up, and then the other that one eagle looking helicopter started shooting at the window, because we was in this big, like I said, a big ass facility, but the window was open. You could just see outside, like we was in a spacecraft, um, but a big ass spacecraft facility, and looking out the window. So the things was coming at us, and that eagles, shooting lasers or whatever. And then they was like, "Oh, it's emergency. It looks like they're attacking us," and they told everybody to run. And I remember, like, man, I remember running out the back way. I don't know how I got out, but I got outside, and they were shooting the ground, so the ground was getting hot, you know. And I saw everybody running too, and I saw everybody, like, you know, so to speak, skipping, running because they couldn't touch the ground because it was so hot. So it was like they didn't even, couldn't even have their foot on the ground for more than seconds because they'll, um, you know, they'll burn up. And I don't know if I saw anybody in combustion set on fire, but I think that was the case in the dream. And then I was like, oh shit. And I remember, going to this safe place. I remember somebody trying to get in their car. All kind of people trying to get in their car. And I remember this one dude. He was on a ground. This is crazy because he was on a concrete ground, and he was walking, and he didn't have to, you know, he wasn't. The ground was cool. I mean, not cool, but it wasn't hot, and he was just walking. And I was like, what the hell? Why is he not hot? You know. And I remember I ended up on that same ground, and it was some monkey bars, like that you hang from or something, like a park, like a small park or something. But it was like monkey bars. You know those bars you hold, and you go from. I mean, those ones you. I don't know if it's at the park, but when them when you go to the gym or you work out and you swing from one, you grab those metal circles and you swing from one to the other. It kind of looked like that, but it kind of looked, and it but it it had on the ring. It was, all the rings was shaped like it had a monkey's face on the rings, like they were monkey rings or whatever. They call them monkey bars at the park, but and you go from one monkey bar to the other without touching the ground. So I don't know what that meant, but I remember calling Bond, you know, to tell him that this is the safe place to go. This is, you need to try to get there because we had got separated, and I don't know, he he wasn't. I don't remember him being in the dream at first, but you know, wherever he was, I was like, hey, you know, this is his place, you know, that we always go to, and that, you know, I think all Israelites were familiar with that certain whatever it was, a park or whatever, said that's where to go. And you know, I looked at my cell phone and tried to call, and I think I woke up right after that. But it was a crazy ass dream. It had I never dreamed of any kind of dreams of that magnitude that I never dreamed of that seem uncommon. You know, I'll share. I also had a dream way back then. Had to be more than 10 years ago. Um, and we were all running, and this I think I even told the LA brothers about it, but we were all running, and we got into this door. We barely squeezed into this big ass. It was a big ass, you know, house or something, and but it was the eagle. It was this big ass eagle that was attacking the house, and we. It was like this one room that we all squeezed into, but we barely squeezed into it to escape from that big eagle, and the eagle was so it was so aggressive that its feathers was like coming off of it. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get in that door to get us, and we finally shut the door. But I just remember the aggression of the eagle to where it just was forcing itself, trying to force itself through that door where its feathers was coming off. But it just kind of made me think of that dream. Anyway, you know, brothers have dreams. It's crazy dream, seems, but could be significant with something going on today. I mean, of course, the eagle, I believe, is America, you know, and yeah, but that's it, man. Uh, I'm not even gonna put no scriptures like it, but I just had to tell it right away before I forgot. But it was something happening with a lot of other stuff. I remember women working at that facility being part of the, I think keeping the kids in line and all that. But yeah. Anyway, hopefully it was edifying. To the next video. Shalom.